Age of Religious Wars, Spain under Philip II, Part 2. Philip II, the prudent king. As a person, quiet and reserved, yet incredibly confident in his Catholic faith and his royal majesty. He was slim and sober, deeply religious, spoke slowly and softly, rarely smiled, and was bookish and artistic rather than athletic. He never personally led his troops on the battlefield and actually disliked traveling and mingling with people. He was happiest at his desk reading reports from his empire. Every day he sifted through masses of papers, many of them incredibly small and trivial, where he would even go so far as to correct their grammar. He wanted to review everything, and many complained that he tried to govern the world from a chair. He bore more than his share of private sorrows. He outlived 4 wives, and all married for dynastic reasons. This is evidenced by his second marriage at the age of 27 to Bloody Mary, who was 38. When Mary died, he, at 32, married Elizabeth of Valois, who was 13. 6 of his 9 children died young. His first son, Don Carlos, was physically deformed, mentally unstable, and hated his father. His death ranges from suicide to murder. Regardless, he has been painted as a villain by the English historians for so long that in all actuality, you can't completely view him as such. In Spain, Philip is regarded as one of their greatest. He established his court at Madrid in the center of Spain. Preferring solitude, he built the Escorial, a massive gray granite structure in the foothills of North Madrid. Taking 21 years to build, it was a combination of palace, church, tomb, and monastery. Despite his love of solitude, Philip was driven by a religious zealotry and by military strength at his disposal to play a strong hand in international affairs. The first half of his reign was dominated by warfare in the Mediterranean against Islam. The Ottoman Empire, like the Spanish, was at its peak in the early years of Philip's reign. The Turks occupied 3/4 of the Mediterranean shoreline from the Adriatic to Algeria and were still on the move. To save the situation, Philip joined Venice and the Papal States in a holy league against the terrible Turks. In October of 1571, a fleet of 300 ships and 80,000 sailors and soldiers, predominantly Spanish, sailed to the Gulf of Lepetano, off the Greek coast, which had even more ships and men. One of history's largest naval battles, it was a showdown between Europe's western and eastern giants. Both fleets consisted of ships propelled by oarsmen, and they fought in the old-fashioned close-range style, the men of each galley trying to ram, grapple, and board the enemy ship. While the Christian fleet closed for action, the crews knelt in adoration under the crucifix, adorned flag of the Holy League, while the Turks came screaming and trumpeting. After a few hours of ferocious fighting, the Turks were annihilated. 3/4 of the Turkish fleet were sunk. Cautious as always, Philip did not follow up his victory with an invasion of Constantinople. Still, he had stopped the Turkish advance and became master of the Mediterranean. Another great success came in 1580 with his annexation of Portugal and the Portuguese Empire. Philip's mother had been a Portuguese princess, and his first wife was a Portuguese princess as well. When the King of Portugal died in 1580 without a direct heir, Philip had a good claim to the vacant throne. After bribing the Portuguese nobility, Philip sent the Spanish army in to occupy the country. Still, like his father, his greatest successes were followed by bitter defeats, as seen with the disasters in the Netherlands and with the English.